What's up, everybody, and welcome back. So today we're going to do something fun. If you are not subscribed and you haven't hit the bell, then you're not really going to know about what I'm about to do. So the other day I posted up a picture of the lawn, this lawn, and I wanted some feedback. How would you like me to cut it? What do you want me to do? I got all kinds of interesting comments back, and I will share a few of those in a moment. But I think I'm going to try to make everybody happy today. So let's go ahead and roll that intro, and I'll show you what I mean.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, I'm John Perry, and today I'm going to be reading internet comments. Now, this one will be positive comments. If you're new to the internet, there are a lot of holes out there, and I think it's best not to give them much attention. In response to the question, what height should I mow my lawn at, I had quite a few very nice comments come through, and I'm going to read them in the voices of which I imagine they sound like, based on their names that they have given here as their YouTube handles. If this is not what your voice sounds like, I wouldn't know. So please have a little fun with it. The first one comes from Tracy Williams. Now this is a gamble as to the way this voice is going to go, so I'd like to apologize ahead of time. I would like to see 2 inches. Most people cannot cut their lawn below this height. Michael Lewis says, my lawn's getting 2-inch mow every 2 days or so. It seems to be short enough to avoid looking shaggy the next day, and long enough to keep my soil cooler and all that. I tried to stretch my watering to every 3 days, and my spots that need some hand watering were looking crispy today, even though this morning was the 3rd day and the system ran. Back to every other day for a while, I guess. Michael, that's how I imagine you sound. Jay's DIY. Your lawn at 2 inches would look, in my opinion, shaggy and homeless. Drop it low to that flow. 1/2 inch. I keep my Bermuda at 1/2 inch, so I might be biased. 2 inch, says Richard Smith. No offense if people cut the grass low, but to me, very low looks like artificial turf. Richard, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Pacific Northwest Lawn says, longer is better. Ask Katie, I'm sure she'll agree. I'm going to go ahead and pause right there, and there were about 60 comments that came through, and they all had great suggestions. So let's just go back up to the lawn and see what happens. All right, so everybody had all kinds of varying opinions on what I should be doing here. Shortcut. You know what? I'm going to get rid of these sunflower seeds. It's kind of gross. That's better. A lot of people had some very interesting comments, so keep it low. Let it grow, keep it low, let it grow, keep it low, let it grow. Well, I think I'm going to do both. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to get out 2 and possibly 3 lawnmowers, but I think I can do it with 2. I'm going to use the Toro and I'm going to use the John Deere. And I'm going to cut a section out with one. I'm going to mow the rest of it with the other at 2 different heights. And then we'll kind of talk about the difference in maybe what you should be seeing cutting low versus cutting high, especially in the heat. So we're still, a little bit in a heat wave here in the mountains. It is dry, obviously, and pretty dang clear. Low humidity. I am having to do some little supplemental watering on some places where I scalped with the Toro the last time, just because I was trying to find that exact height where it wouldn't hit any of the high spots in the lawn, but there's just a couple where it kind of just scalped down. So they're a little brown. It'll take a minute to bring them up. It's not that big a deal. I think I can get it done with 2 mowers, so let's do it.
Spent the last year chasing myself. Take me to a better place where love's something else.
thing. I'm actually going to bag my clippings today because I'm going to do something I've always wanted to do at the end of this video, and it could be a colossal failure, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Aren't you tired of always being around? Like you're stuck everywhere. You keep it to yourself and your innocence. The only thing that's left for me. It's not that I want more, I only need it. I can't believe it, you fell on me. Did I cut you out by letting you leave? Maybe a little too much drama in your dreams. So I lost you again. You keep it to yourself and your innocence. The only thing that's left for me. It's not that I want more.
Okay, so now we have a cut with a 1/2 inch out here that I still think I'm gonna have to do a little cleanup because there's some stuff kind of laying around. And then I came over the outside at about 1 inch to give it a collar. So now I'm gonna go ahead and raise the wheels up, cut the whole rest of the lawn, and then maybe I need to make a little tee box over on the other side. Because I mean, you know, clearly it looks like I'm making a little miniature golf green. So that's what's next. All right, so that's done. 1/2 inch for this little area right here with the kidney bean. 1/2 inch for the tee box, if you want to call it that. I may or may not use it. I probably will. Yeah. I got about 1 inch collar around the thing, and everything else is cut around 1.5-ish, maybe 2 inches, but it's taller. So now you can look over here. See the swirl marks back there? That was from last week when I took my Toro through it and kind of just chunked through a high spot. So there's still a couple little high spots. I'm trying to figure out where the sweet spot is on that mower, but that's no big deal. So now I'm gonna do something that I've always wanted to do, and I am going to preface it this way. Now, today I bagged my clippings, and everybody was like, why'd you bag your clippings? I did it for one particular reason, but I wanted to point out something. So if we take a look at this Clemson soil test right here, you can see there's recommendations. There's recommendations based on if you bag or if you don't bag. And if you don't bag, you actually will save money on your fertilizer, basically according to the way they have it set up. Calculations based on removal, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you can sit and argue the merits of recycling your clippings or not. And really the best thing is this, is you're leaving stuff back down on the ground. It's food for the soil. It's going to pull some of those nutrients back out of the grass, feed it, kind of recycle some things, and keep from major loss. I mentioned at one point, I believe in a phosphorus video, about how you could lose around 28 pounds of phosphorus annually if you bag, but that might only be about like 7 pounds if you don't. Okay, so that's kind of a big difference. That's per acre, not per thousand. To do this next part, we got to go inside. Welcome to the kitchen with JP. We're gonna do some lawn cooking. doesn't. I don't know if that works. I am going to do something I've always wanted to do just to see what would happen. And really, I don't know that there's going to be a way to tell what can happen, but I just thought it would be fun to do. So you're going to have to bear with me. When you think about recycling grass clippings and putting things down, obviously the smaller you can get those clippings, the better. Well, I kind of thought, how much fun would it be to just emulsify some, go spray it back out? I don't know how many people out there do smoothies, wheatgrass, any of that kind of stuff. I mean, this actually smells really, really good. Not like fresh cut grass. It smells different. Look at it. All right, so there you go. I just maimed the grass, took its body parts, threw it and emulsified it, and then fed it back to it. It's kind of morbid if you think about it that way. Really interesting about that is just spraying out. You could actually see the green color coming out of the ortho as it was spraying, and I think it's going to have a little bit of a dying effect on the grass. Not a dying like it's going to kill it, but dying like dye. Just thinking about how you fall down or slide across the grass on your knees with your jeans, you're going to get, grass stains. Well, I'm pretty much just fed the grass stains back to my grass. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see because it honestly looks like it darkened it up like immediately, which is kind of funny. So while that's not a very practical thing to do at all, I've just always wanted to do it. I thought it might be kind of interesting to just see what would happen. So it's sprayed out, it's done, we're finished with this. I hope you're all happy. I did it for you guys. Congratulations. Viewer sourced video. I'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya. Wait a minute, I can't be done yet. I didn't talk about what the importance is. All right, so let's look at this real quick. So, long held belief, and there is truth to it. If you keep your grass longer in the summertime in the heat, especially in drought, you will keep your soils more shaded, a little cooler. Won't really have as much stress as if you were running shortcut grass. Now, if irrigation's not an issue and you can be out on it and you can be basically treating it a lot, shortcut grass is fine. It will hold up, but you do have to stay on top of it a little bit more. I mean, just think about how much mine suffered being gone for a week just because the irrigation wasn't hitting it quite right. Now, if the grass had been longer, it probably would have done better. So, for the most part with bluegrass, 2.5 inch cut on the short side would be standard. That would be what people would mow as a standard height, and up to 3 or 3.5 inches. But there's quite a few of us that go a lot lower than that, just because, right? Next door, that grass looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's been at 2.5 cut at the lowest, and it looks fantastic, and it has ridden out the hot and the cold very well. Great irrigation, considerably more water going on that than on mine, but it's just holding up really well. So again, with bluegrass, you don't really necessarily want or need to go this short. This is just something that you can do if you want to have some fun and experiment with your own lawn and take it down to that level. I wouldn't have any trouble with mine now at this point. If it were 3.5 inches tall, if I just let it grow, I could cut it twice. I would remove a significant amount of the grass, one pass through, probably cut it with the Toro, and then I would come back through and I would nail it with the John Deere. I could take it right back down and it'll do just fine. Mainly because of the lateral spreading of the turf. That's really the big thing. So again, I don't have a whole lot of issue doing it here, but if you're gonna start into that, it takes a little while. I think, honestly, grass looks good when it's mowed. it doesn't have to be short. It can be cut long. I've seen grass that's 4.5, 5 inches long, especially in Florida, St. Augustine, that looks immaculate. That's wonderful. I've seen turf around here that's cut at 3 inches that looks absolutely stunning, gorgeous. So I don't know that the height matters, the frequency matters, and that's really the more important part. So rather than let it get all jumbly-wumbly, I think that, you know, cutting on a regular basis, no matter the height you choose, is really the most important thing. So anyway, now that's it. There's your viewer-sourced mowing video. The grass looks great. Again, except for those little scalp marks that I've got, which is not the end of the world. And I hope everybody liked that weird little kitchen science experiment. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.